for yet another lesson here with the Notorious One. I appreciate you for being here. I'm very gracious. I'm your gracious host, CGA, See God Allah, the Notorious One. More nicknames than anyone in the game. And we have a very provocative topic to discuss with you. And you see by the title of this stream is that weak men live their lives through women. All right, so we're going to get busy here in a bit, but first we're going to allow you an opportunity to come through and hit the like button. And I welcome you all to this particular stream. All right, if you're watching this on playback, I appreciate you watching this on playback. And we're going to get busy. We're going to get busy in here. It's boss up season. It is sugar daddy season, get 'em daddy season out here. And I see it's moss season out here. We might have some guests with the moss and the bugs. But it is get 'em daddy season. As you guys know, November 1st is going to be treacherous territory. And we're going to have welcome more and more people over to the dark side, aka the JUCO, aka the monetized dating marketplace, and things will be cleared up for a lot of you men. Shout out to the Coach Gang, man. Shout out to you. And of course, it is 7 o'clock on the Pacific Standard Time. So everybody on the East Coast, I understand that it could be kind of late for you since my demographic tends to trend to older men that are about 35 to 44 years old. So I know you guys are bedtime for you, and some of you guys are wrapped in the warm embrace of an older woman who pays your bills. So we are here and enjoying the day. I know it's halftime of the football game. So, this is one of those days, but I'm feeling froggy. I've been pushing out content. I'm ready to return to the king of content. I'm ready to return to the king of content. One of those nicknames, as you guys hear me say on a daily basis on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel, is the king of content. And the reason why I had that nickname and that moniker is that at that time I had 8 or so monetized channels. All right, I had clips channels, I had a CGA vlogs channel, I had a channel in relationship to asking Coach Greg Adams, also had the main channel, and then the Free Agent Lifestyle channel, and many other channels. I had 7 or 8 channels simultaneously monetized, and I was pushing out content aggressively on all of those channels at the same time. So I was going ham until hateration and holleration came in, and of course, man, all right, I got demonetized, all 8 channels demonetized in one day. So it was quite the wake-up call and the kick in the gut that really slowed down my productivity, and I had to come up with another way to continue this thrilling ride as a skilled content creator and an editor and a communicator and this type of thing. So yeah, it was a kick in the nuts to get all of those channels demonetized at once, and it took me to less of the king of content, but I do have the ability to put out various forms of content, be it that I'm talking on stage, doing live streams, making vlogs, all right, showing my lifestyle as well. I had the car channel that was monetized, and man, still haven't been able to overcome those particular setbacks as a content creator, and haven't been able to get monetized. So I haven't having to make other platforms a place for you guys to come and watch monetized content, which is patreon.com/CoachGregAdams. And I had to have a value proposition, which was talking about money and the money mindset and the blue chip mindset. And then we also have the locals, which is CoachGregAdams.locals.com. I am one of the biggest locals platformer over there. And we do a Sunday stream over there. So yeah, man, these are survival techniques and all of that stuff. But I'm back here for this particular channel, in which I'm trying to figure out if I want to do live streams like this, which are casual, or if I want to do short form videos and the like. All right, I'm trying to figure out what to do with this channel. This is the main channel. All right, this is the main channel. This is the flagship. This is the mothership. So I'm trying to figure out what I do want to do with this channel, whether I want to pump out short form videos or just kick it live with you smoking cigars in my backyard. There's only so much time I can do this, so it's going to get winter time here in Nevada. Plus, I'm going to be living nomadic lifestyle. All right, you never know where I'll be. And shout out to a leaf by Oscar. This is a leaf, all right, a cigar leaf wrapped around a Maduro cigar. So we're going to enjoy this one today, all right, as we kick it over here and we get uncut, uncensored, and raw over here. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, you can't super chat over here. So if you do want to contribute, one of the places where I look up my super chats is on my phone while I'm outside kicking it. I do have my computer here, so you'd have to let me know if you super chatted so I can stop what I'm doing and all of that stuff. Man, okay, thank you, man. And double tap the screen, and that's the way you can like this particular stream. And shout out to the Angry Man for featuring me in one of his live streams. All right, essentially just allowing me to talk to his audience through one of his live streams. And I'm pretty sure I didn't get a chance to see the playback of his, so I'm pretty sure that we are on one accord in the, in the evaluation of where men stand. All right, the evaluation where men stand. Men are now in a situation where it's hard to get behind the direction of many men because they're lost. All right, we know that men are the new women. They're lost. They're misguided and undecided. They don't know what to do with their lives. And one of the reasons they don't know what to do with their lives is that because they live their life through women. Okay, I once heard a young lady make this particular talking point, and it was a very, very good point in which you will find that if men do not have any reason to be driven, which is particularly through women, they will not be driven. Okay, they will not improve themselves. They will be slops. All right, if men don't feel that they can get the woman that they can get, men will not do anything. Okay, men live their lives in which almost every decision that they make on a daily basis has a woman in mind. In fact, most of their lives are pretty much a function of decisions related around women. Okay, so we're going to break this down, and which is the case. And we've seen men decline into a state of anger, bargaining, grief, all right, somewhat getting in a situation where they're making bad deals and they're hoping that I'm wrong and they're hoping that women change, and particularly black men with black women. This is very big in effect, in which black men typically they can't let black women go. All right. And I do find it interesting for content creators constantly making content about black women. All right. When they're black males themselves also saying they're going their own way and they're passport bros, but they constantly have to go on the attack of black women. Now, I'm not caping for black women, but why are you worried about them and what they do and how they see the world when you're not even going to date them? To the point that any of these black women become a swirler or a sugar baby or a porn star, a ghetto gagger, you seem to be appalled by this particular behavior. All right, you seem to be appalled by this particular behavior, which is despicable and disgraceful. You don't care about them. You're interracially dating. You're going overseas to date. Why are you caring about them dating white men? All right, why? It is absolutely appalling behavior, and it's disgraceful to this particular point. I don't know why you would worry about that demographic. I'm not worried about it. Okay, I don't worry about what black women do on a daily basis. I don't care what judgments they have. I typically have not dated them for the better part of my life. So I don't really I'm not really discouraged by them interracially dating. Okay. I would love for them to date whoever they want to date and make it work. Just stay out of my hair with it, or stay out of my beard with it. Who cares? Okay. All right, but men tend to be having their, having their nuts in a vice grip. They're saying that they don't care about them. They're giving constant negative feedback about their behavior, whether they're wearing wigs and weaves, whether they wear too much makeup, whether they're strags, and then ultimately, guess what? You're paying so much attention to them, but you claim to not like them. Okay, you claim to not like them. So this is again another situation where men live their lives through women to the point where they typically don't have any other dating options but this group of women. All right, or you might be dating a lower end woman on the other side of the racial profile. You might date a Asian or a Latina, or you might be dating a white woman, a mud shark. And typically, this woman is not on the higher scale of dating, right? You're dating on the lower end scale interracially. All right, you're dating a mud shark, you're dating a strag Latina, you're dating a ghetto Asian. Essentially, all of the markers of the women that you're trying to date, you're dating. That's who you're picking as a mate. Okay, so it's absolutely incredible that everything you criticize about the black woman, you actually have represented in the woman that you pick on the other side of the racial category. Okay, she basically everything. She twerks, right? She twerks. She has tattoos. She has big eyelashes. The same thing, all right? And it'll be an Asian woman. And you're then come over to black women and say, look at this drag. All right, she has tattoos, big eyelashes, and so forth and so on. Right? Isn't that interesting? Tattoo. She has a grill. All right. She knows all the latest rap music and she twerks, but somehow it's okay. Right? Somehow it's okay. Euro's okay as long as she's somewhere in the Philippines or Thailand. All right. She has her hair braided and matted just like a black woman, hair extensions and shit like this. This is absolutely crazy. All right. So it's a very interesting, complex situation here that you're seeing people deal with. Yeah. She went to the Breezy Bowl. She went to Rolling Loud. She knows every one of Future's lyrics. It's the same damn thing. So, you know, they tend to live in the same areas as these particular women. In fact, her best friends are these strags. In fact, you will find that some of these mud sharks and ghetto Asians and strag Latinas with BBLs are simply friends with these strags that you simply want to avoid. It's interesting. Yep, she smokes weed and drinks Henny. She goes to the nigga nightclubs and all that. And it's for some reason, it's okay just because she has the slant eyes and she built like a Latina box Latina. Somehow it's like okay. But it's an interesting situation here. But this is me dissecting the situations where the manosphere has quite a conflict in their interest here. But I see a lot of people here checking in on this stream and they're leaving very fast because they know they about to catch wreck. They know they about to catch wreck. This is not going to be the shows on this channel that is going to wipe the rear end of men. We're going to wipe the floor of these fugazi ass men. We're going to wipe the floor of these fugazi ass men. All right. I seek to wipe the floor of these fugazi ass men. All right. Because these men, you guys are acting in violation. All right. We seek to wipe the floor of these fugazi ass men. All right. So, anyway. All right. It's boss up time. I'm not handling you guys with kid gloves. I don't seek to give you any more additional knowledge than you contribute back to me. It's fuck you, boss up, and it's sink or swim. All right, it's ride or die, nigga. Hey, at the end of the day, most of you guys ain't worth shit at this particular point. All right, and you guys know who you are. Right? The people who know they're worth something, that are valuable members of the Coach Gang, International Coach Gang represent. We've been rolling 8 years strong, 9 years strong in season 8 here. And the International Shield is in the building. Men who have made contributions over the Money Mindset Locals, Coaching Calls, bought either one or two of the books and so forth and so on. We got the Coach Gang International, we got the Shield, and we got the Dark Side Foundation. We got the Dark Side over here, and we got them all set up. This is a Maduro. You guys see the leaf by Oscar rolled in a very, very good, mild-looking leaf. Okay. One of those things. And we have this one right here. This is a Maduro cigar right here. So, oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. We're gonna get down to business here. We're gonna get down to business here. It is must-see TV. All right, and so I appreciate you for being here. We have 126 likes. Let's get the likes to match the watchers. Okay. Let's get the likes to match the watchers, and we'll get into this conversation. You see the title, okay? And a lot of people don't know about this channel. A lot of people don't know that this is the flagship channel. This is the original channel that blew up somewhere in the year 2019 to 2020, before it was demonetized in 2021. And this was one of the first big channels that got demonetized after 100,000 subscribers. I think I was about at, no, I might have been just before 100,000 subscribers. I can't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this channel was about at 150,000 subscribers in 2019, roughly so. And then it got demonetized. Still got it over 240,000 subscribers by hook or crook. I was still streaming on this channel. And a lot of people don't know about this channel. This is the original one. So what's happening is I'm re-engaging with a group of people that forgot they were subscribed to me. All right. They kind of moved on with life. Maybe they got married. Maybe they dropped out. Maybe they became a purple pill. And they forgot that this channel existed and they were subscribed to it. So they're finding out, oh, CGA's still alive. Right here. CGA's still alive. All right. This guy's still here. He's still making content. Where did he go? All right. So, yeah, we're still pushing out content over here, man. All right, he's still pushing out content. So yeah, this is the original one. So people are coming over here. I can see that there's a lot more haters over here, a lot more bots, a lot more than we're normally accustomed to on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel because we've been very good. The moderators have been very good of dismissing these subhumane individuals. Subhumane individuals. We have a woman here that says, "How do you grow as a woman?" The only way a woman, that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Raquel Williams. We're going to talk about that. I'll give you an answer for that one. How do you grow as a woman? I believe a woman doesn't really know who she is until she's under the leadership of a man. I know that's a hard one to deal with, but she doesn't become complete until she has a man that she is serving in a certain capacity. She doesn't know who she truly is. So she has to get into a situation where she trusts, honor, respects a certain man. Now, this is going to be interesting because she's also going to get counter programming from the regular world, her friend, potentially her family members, that tells her that she should not be doing this. This is the world we live in. And thus, it will prevent or inhibit her growth and then get her stuck. All right. So she will be stuck in a loop where she will not be able to get herself out of, particularly if she leaves a man or divorces a man or breaks up with the man because her single friends or her friends or family tells her to break up. She will be stuck in limbo. She will be stuck in limbo and she will not be able to grow thus far. All right. She will not be able to grow thus that. So, you will find that women that divorce their ex-husbands, they're typically their growth is stunted. Their growth is stunted. All right. They will be delivering DoorDash 10 years later. All right. So that's one of the ways that you will see that she doesn't have any growth. All right. A woman can't make another woman grow. Men can sharpen iron. Iron can sharpen iron. We can actually deliver sermons to each other and help each other grow. Some other elder women can help a woman grow as well, but she can't grow to her final form until she's under a man and under the righteous man at that. Now, not all men are qualified in this area. This is why I believe, and I know a lot of people don't understand this. I believe that age gaps would help women grow. Now, I know for me, this would be more beneficial to me, so you can take it with a grain of salt. But I believe that age gaps are an appropriate way for a woman to grow and learn. Okay, now, you know, this does make it so that men have to become someone, and that makes it because so that men can actually they have to work to become something. But if a woman's constantly around the man their age and they're supposedly mature faster than men, does this help her grow? Okay, does this help her grow? I'm going to ask you something. If it is true that women grow and mature faster than men, but they're around men of their same age group, or potentially he's slightly younger or older, is that man allowing her to grow? No, she's overruling that man. She's giving that man a situation where he has to make deals with her. So if she does have a man that is of advanced age, doesn't matter what the age gap is, she is more inclined to have to listen to that particular guy because that guy has more maturity, growth, and experience. He tends to have. This is not always the case. This is not always the case. Sometimes the man allows her to rule over him as well. But typically, if a woman matures faster, and almost all women will agree, well, the same age is not going to be good for her. All right. She's going to make that man make deals under her. Okay. That's just what I'm just going to put out there. Okay. And eventually she'll outgrow him. And eventually he'll never catch up. All right. He'll never catch up. And then she will believe there's a dog. She will believe that this man is another child. Am I right? Now again, some people think that this is not true, but then you will argue this. 36 men 36 will say, be quiet, doggies. All right, men 36 will still be playing video games, wearing graphic t-shirts, and she will say, this is like me having another child. This is like me having another child. This is what happens. So then wouldn't it be that the woman actually would be challenged more if in fact there's an age gap? Typically. All right. This is this is what typically happens. So where we have to understand is that why the dogs barking? All right. You know what? I'm gonna have to maybe put Nova up. Maybe they're barking in response to Nova. All right. What is this guy doing? KT King, handle that business there. There's definitely more Mitch activity. There you go, right here. There's more Mitch activity than normal over here. I'm just trying to do my live stream and they're interrupting me. All right. But we live in a world where we will practice one thing, we will promote one thing, and then the other thing will be false. All right. You will make the other thing false. All right. The neighbors put out the dogs. All right. We'll light one up. Hopefully they calm down. All right. Maybe we'll have to go inside. I don't know, man, because wowzers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why why did the dogs do that? Why they put the dogs out on my stream? Anyway, so anyway, all right, we're gonna have a good time here, despite that. But again, I appreciate you for being here. It's gonna be a grand old time, and we're gonna have a good time regardless. Anyway, mm-hmm. Now, hopefully the dogs have calmed down. All right, so here's the thing with this one real quick. Men live their lives through women, right? And how does this happen? Well, let me give you a prime example of this one. Okay. Let me give you a prime example of how men live their lives through women. Let's say you schedule a date with a young lady, an older woman, and you schedule a date with her. You get dressed. Okay. You get dressed for the date. As you're about to leave the house, you get a message from the woman. When you get the message from the woman, she says, I can't meet you for the day's date. Press a one in the chat if we've been here before. These dogs are killing me. I'm going to have to tell my neighbors to put the dogs in. But you're dressed. You got home from work. You showered. You shave your nuts. You get dressed. And then right before you leave the door, she says, I can't make it. What do you do? What do you do? Do you say, okay, and still go to the date? You still go to the restaurant? You still go to the amusement park? You still go to the festival of the fair? What do you do? You call someone else, so you got to get somebody else on board? Or do you take your clothes off and get in the bed? All right. Do you take your clothes off, get into bed? Do you go follow your other passion? Do you go hit golf balls? What do you do? Now, a lot of you guys say, I still go to the date. I still go to the restaurant as planned. I planned on going to that restaurant anyway. This date was my date. Okay. Or do you say, man, these bees ain't ish. They always flaking. I can't stand this. Do you jump on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you go, Facebook? Do you air her out and get undressed and stay home? Mm-hmm. Well, according to the manosphere, aka the clanosphere, aka the rest haven for Mitches, this tends to be a sticking point. Women flaking. It tends to be frustrating. And men tend to not go out as a result. Now, we've become a mature audience. We know what we do over here. We continue to go out because the date was not about her. She was joining you for the date, right? So I was already going to this restaurant. I was already going out. I was already going to the football game. I was already going to the concert. I was already going to go. She was a side dish. She was dressing. She was arm candy. She was joining me on something that I was going to do. And in that case, at that case, you continue to go out. You're like, well, her loss. But what tends to happen is men tend to be frustrated about this particular thing, and rightly so. You're frustrated. Man, I planned this wonderful day for her. I planned the magical balloon ride. I planned to rent cars and drive Ferraris around. I planned to do this. I got dressed to do this. I bought flowers and roses. I planned for X, Y, and Z, and she didn't show up. Therefore, I'm going to stay at home and cuss this bitch out. This is how typically a point where you will find that you live your life through women. Because shouldn't you be going to enjoy yourself even if the woman's there or not? Sure. You were going to a steak dinner anyway. You were going to a fancy restaurant anyway because that's the way you treat yourself. But most men aren't like that. Most men aren't like that. They will find that they are only doing things because there's a woman involved. That's how men live their life through women. That's one example. That's just one example of how men live their life through women. Thus, the decisions that they make and how they enjoy life is predicated whether there's a woman involved. Let me give you another example. hmm How many of you guys? How many of you guys go to the movies by yourself? How many of you guys go to the movies by yourself? Press one in the chat if you go to the movies by yourself, like to the theater. All right, the theater. Press one in the chat if you do. Some people are growing upon this. This is something that, again, not a lot of people done. Some people do it. When you go to the movies, do you go at night or do you go to the matinee on Sunday? Typically, people are accustomed to going to the movies at night. And thus, when they think about going to the movies, they feel kind of weird at night going to a movie theater when there's people on dates and family and friends. And there you are by yourself looking like a predator, okay, going to a movie theater on a Friday night by yourself. It's a very tough thing to do. It takes courage to go to a movie theater where there's date night, dinner and a movie by yourself. People can do it. Most people can't do it. Most people can't do it. Thus, they live their lives through women. They have to, at least, even if they're not dating a girl, they'll take a female friend to go to the movies because you're accustomed to taking a woman to the movie theater. hmm As you get older, you'll start to notice that nobody's paying attention to you anyway. Thus, it is actually better to go to the matinee and get the movie over with and come outside and there's still light outside. All right, this is easy. Then you'll notice that, man, going to a dinner or a movie, it takes quite a long time. All right, you got to go to a dinner, wrap up the dinner at Johnny Rockets and get over to the movie, hurry up, get over to the movie, and then you got to get her home and get the freak off. Right? So you still trying to fuck after the movie gets out at 11:30 p.m. And of course, she's going to wriggle out of it and she's going to be like, well, I'm tired and I got to get up early for work and I got to run a 5K in the morning. And then now all of a sudden, now you're frustrated. You're frustrated. This is frustration. Okay. And you continue to set her up. And this is typically younger men until you find out it's just way easier to go to matinee. You just drive up. You don't worry about anything. You don't buy any snacks. You breeze right through the line. They ain't even checking for tickets. They're not even checking for tickets. Okay. You will find that they're not even checking for tickets. You might be able to do a little movie hopping. Okay. Nobody's there. It's 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock. They ain't even checking for tickets on a Wednesday. Right? They just boom, boom, boom. You're just going in there. So what'll tend to happen is you will notice that it's way much easier to just go to the movie, all right, and then to not deal with the BS. It is difficult for people to do this. Okay, it's very difficult to do. But because you live your life through women, sometimes you even think, who am I going to go to a movie with? Oh, I don't have anybody to go with, so you stay home. hmm That's an example of men living their life through women. Thus, the women frustrate them when they throw a monkey wrench in any of these plans. Any little monkey wrench. She doesn't have sex with you at the end of the movie date. You're frustrated. She flakes on you. You're frustrated. And this is how weak men go about lives, trying to prove that they can be good statistically with women. And they get frustrated by this. And thus, it leads you into finding answers. All right, I'll give you one more example. I'll give you one more example. Here's another example. If you're invited to a party, if you're invited to a party and you get there and it's a cock fest, you get there and it's a cock fest. You walk up in there and you're like, yo, I can't wait to go to the party. You put on your favorite cologne, you put on your favorite cologne, your favorite Savage, you're putting on your cool water and you splash that shit on, you get dressed and you show up early, it's 9 o'clock. Soon as you get in there, it's a cock fest. What do? You get the fuck up out of there. You're like, what is this? What is this? I'm out of there. You get the Scooby Doo cartoon run. I'm out. Or you say the party is whack. Let's say you get invited to a boat party and it ain't nothing but dudes there. You're out of there. You can't enjoy being on the boat? Yeah, not with a bunch of dudes. Hell no. You live your life through women. Same thing as the nightclub or anything related to that. Too many dudes, no fun. Time to go home. No socializing, no networking, nothing. We're out of here. This is an example of living your life through women. And this is much of your teens and your 20s that we do these activities. Thus, it leads to frustration. It leads to major frustration. Now, the women typically are going to come late. They're going to arrive, what do you call it, socially late. I can't remember what they used to call that. They're going to arrive late. They'll be there. All right. They're pre gaming. They're getting drunk and smoking weed and snorting coca from they got for free. They'll be there. And thus, okay, thus, you'll be able to enjoy the night. This is why nightclubs, yacht parties, Diddy parties typically pay women to be there so you show up. Fashionably late. That's what I meant. Socially late, fashionably late. This is why nightclubs and bars have ladies' nights, and they tended to have these a long time, which they know you're not going to show up unless there's ladies there, and rightly so. Rightly so, right? This is a big deal. They know men live their lives through women. They know they're not going to come out and buy drinks or party or hang out or run game or whatever, buy sections if there's no women there. Now, ladies' night has gotten a little bit weird because people got sued. Nightclubs got sued for having lady nights. So what did they do? They have atmosphere girls, particularly in major cities, Miami, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and so forth and so on, where the club promoter will hire women, beautiful young women, as atmosphere girls to give you the idea that there are available women there. I know a lot of atmosphere girls. Okay. hmm Because men live their lives through women, clubs have to hire women or give them free drinks to give the idea that there's plenty available women there, or else the men won't show up, or they won't participate, or they won't buy drinks, or they won't dance. All right. And then when they take pictures of everybody doing what, they take pictures with the atmosphere girls who are in on the gig. They're in on the rig, right? They're in on it. So they know they're there to party. They know that they know the club promoter. They might have slept with the club promoter or whatever it is. They give the indication that there's beautiful women here. You see the posters. They're gonna be atmosphere girls. Okay. They're going to be atmosphere girls. And thus, it makes men show up. Anytime you see a billboard for a strip club or anything, a nightclub, a bar, they're going to have women that they paid, AKA models, to show up there. Okay. So when you get there, the people that are advertised on the billboard are not the actual people that are going to be there. Exotic dancers, strip clubs, whatever it is, performances, concerts, and stuff like this. So this is because men live their lives through women, and thus they find their value through women. And what'll tend to happen is if they don't achieve in this idea, they are really self-esteem plummets. Their self-esteem plummets, and they can't find value outside of that. Now, what happens? This is why you have the manosphere. Because men fail with women, divorce, a bad breakup, child support, we fail in this endeavor, we feel bad about ourselves. And then if you have somebody actually try to define how you have a relationship with yourself in the absence of women initially, and then re-engage with women, men don't know what to do. So you ask yourself, do men have hobbies that don't include women? No. They don't. They don't have hobbies that don't include women. In fact, they will have their hobbies include women. Right? It is hard for men to do that. Now, men back in the day were able to do this because typically women didn't invade male spaces. Now, because women invade male spaces, you include women in there. So you will find that you go to a cigar lounge. Guess what? You let the ash fall off naturally. You let the ash fall off naturally. Teaching you today. You don't tap it like it's a cigarette. You uncouth, untrained individuals. You let the ash fall off naturally. Because women tend to invade male spaces, you say, I'm going to a cigar bar. Women will go, oh, I'll go. I'll smoke cigars. I'll smoke cigars. Thou go. You go to the firearm range. You'll have a woman say, I shoot firearms too. You go fishing. You go fishing. I fish too. Right? No matter what you say you do, you drive remote control cars. She drives them too. You want to drive fast cars. She drives them fast cars too. Now it gets to the point where it is hard to do things outside of women because, hey, they do it too. And thus, you find yourself including women into your hobbies. Sometimes they come in and ruin the entire event. Sometimes they want to learn. Teach me how to bowl. Teach me how to shoot a firearm. Now the whole thing is you teaching and training. Also, you can put your pelvis against her butt cheeks. Okay? And you think, hey, I'll get in there. I'll spend extra time with her. I'll get to touch her. I'll get to break the touch barrier. And then thus you find that your hobby is being ruined by this particular person because, yeah, she has no real incentive to be out there. She might shoot the firearm once and get her finger jammed up, or the slide will cut her, pinch her little and set in between the thumb right here. It'll pinch it. And then now she's getting an owie. And now you're doing first aid right out there on the firearm range. Mm-hmm. So something you enjoy can typically be ruined, or you'll engage a woman in this particular thing. You might even invite her on a date. Hey, date, date, date. We're going to the firearm range. Okay. You see what I mean? Thus, what'll happen is you get judged by doing things on your own as a man. Men can't handle it. They'll call you gay. They'll call you gay. You like to be around other guys? Gay. Again, this is men who live their life through women. Right? You like to do things by yourself. You go to the movies by yourself. You go to a boat. You was on a boat with a bunch of other men fishing. Gay. There were no women there. Gay. In fact, they have a phrase called "Where the hoes at." You look like a metaphile. You just out there hanging out at the mall shopping by yourself. There's no woman shopping with you. Gay. Metaphile. So this is how You again live your life through women, because then if you do things in the absence of women, they'll call you gay. This is what it is. All right. This is kind of how we do it. They have a phrase called "where the hoes at." We can't have fun if there are no hoes here. You go to the Atomic Golf. You go to what is the other one? Top Golf. You can't even focus on hitting because the next group got a group of women on the other side, and y'all worried about running game over there and introducing yourself to those women. Now you will find that women can do a lot of things without men. They could do a ton of things without men. In fact, most everything they do is in the absence of men. And they don't get judged for it at all. They go to the bathroom, 1 and 2 women, 3 women at a time. They get in there and they help each other with their bra and panties. They look for tampon strings hanging out. They snort coke right off the damn sink. And as a result, nobody calls them gay. They'll even eat each other's punocha. They'll lick each other and touch each other and kiss each other right on the lips, and they'll suck each other's nipples. And nobody ever calls them gay. Nobody ever says, why you not hanging out with men? There'll be 50 women in one bathroom, and there'll be 4 bathroom stalls. There'll be 3 women in one bathroom stall. And they can live their life completely like that. One woman dismisses herself to go to the bathroom, and 2 other women will get up and follow her in there and watch the other girl dookie and hold her hair back while she's throwing up. These women will go on girls' trips, no problems. Okay, no problems. And none of them will even deal with a man the entire trip. No problem. Some of them will deal with a man the trip. Here it is. And it's no problem. But for men, you do something like this, and then another man comes in there and wants to call you gay, or you're weird, or you're a creep, you're a metaphile. You're doing something wrong. You're by going by yourself. You're a weirdo. You ain't got no friends. You must be a loser. You're lame. Take your pick. Because men live their lives through women. So the fact that you don't have a woman, you don't have a girlfriend, what's wrong with you? You ain't got no game. You can't keep a girl. You can't. I'm just by myself. Okay, I've traveled. Quick story. When you travel solo, this is a weird thing. Even for point, it is a weird thing, and I think the Passport Bros' movement has helped this idea of men traveling. But I've traveled before the Passport Bros solo. I've sat next to couples. And those couples will ask me, who are you traveling with? You're going to Vancouver, Canada. Who are you here with? Myself. You're traveling by yourself? Yes, I'm traveling by myself. Are you meeting somewhere there? No, I'm just booked the ticket. I booked the ticket. Even people who are used to being in coupledoms, what they'll do is the man will say to the woman, hey, this guy's traveling by himself. He doesn't have a girl with him. All right. Who is he with? And he'll tell his wife, this guy's traveling by himself. And then he'll lean over to me. You're lucky. I got to take this woman on, and she's going to cost me extra $5,000. You'll tell guys and come back from the trip, I just went and booked the trip by myself. I didn't take no girl. Are you gay? What's wrong? You don't have game? You're a brokey? You can't afford to travel? What's going on here? No, I just went by myself. It is still somewhat taboo for a man to travel by himself. Okay? It is very, very taboo for men to travel amongst themselves because men live their lives through women. It is still somewhat taboo. And even to the point, if you're a black man that travels by himself and you happen to be going to an area where it's underdeveloped, they're going to call you a passport bro. They're going to call you a passport bro. They're going to say, you're a passport bro. You're going to travel to go fuck women on the Jeep. That's why you're going there. You're going to go take advantage of those poor Latinas. You're a passport bro. I was in first class, and a flight attendant, male flight attendant, saw me going to Colombia, and he said, "Hey, passport bro, I can't just be going." I can't just be going. It is still somewhat taboo to do this things on your own. Thus, this is how the majority of men outside of the space of you would call the manosphere, they still are not accepting of a free agent lifestyle, right? They can't accept it. In their world, this is not possible. Let's say you live in a nice neighborhood. You live in a nice neighborhood, suburban neighborhood, cul-de-sac, great schools. The school bus comes and picks up kids right there on your street. You're a single male. Two-car garage, toys. They will wonder why you're living there. Why the hell is he living here? Why is he living here? He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have a fiance. He is not married. Why is he living in this neighborhood? They'll wonder. It won't even make sense. That would be like, why does he live here? Why does he live downtown? Why does he live in an apartment, a loft, a bachelor pad? They are confused by this particular act. And thus, they will keep their husbands away from your monkey ass. They will forbid their husbands. They will let their husbands know, don't go hang out over there. Don't go smoke cigars with him over there. Don't go have a drink over there. All right. He's going to give you some idea that you don't need me. Because men live their lives through women. They have to have a woman to live in a nice neighborhood in a nice house. You even have men that believe that. Hey, if I don't have a girlfriend, I'll live like a minimalist. I'll live in a one-bedroom apartment, a studio with a chair and a video game, and so forth and so on. Because the world wants men to live through women. You have to be buying houses for women. And that's the world we live in. Now, there's single women that live in these neighborhoods. There are single women that live in these neighborhoods. Nobody says anything. They have a right to be there. Sometimes they're a single mom. They have a right to be there. Nobody says, you need a man. Why do you live here? Why did you buy a house? Okay. Why did you buy a house in this neighborhood? Nobody says anything. A man does it. Why are you here? Looking out the window at these children. Let's give you another example. I'm giving you all kind of examples before I hit you over the head with the reality. Let's say you go to a bar or a nightclub. You go there and you sit there at the edge of the bar by your goddamn self. And you have a drink or two. You just having a drink. You just sitting there, just chilling. And somebody comes up and he's like, man, there's so many hot girls here. You should go talk to some. And you say, I ain't interested in none of that. I'm just chilling. You see all these hoes here? There's all these hot girls. And he'll proceed to go from one girl to the next, and he'll bounce around. All right. He'll come back sweating, eyes all big. Man, there's so many hot girls there. And you'll look out there and see nothing but 4s, 5s, and 6s. You're very content with just chilling. I just wanted to come have a drink. They'll wonder why you're not bouncing around like a goddamn grasshopper from woman to woman. I ain't trying to approach none of these women. In fact, I don't get my women from these elements. If a woman comes talk to me, fine. If she wants to have a conversation with me, cool. But I ain't about to run up on of these women. Guess what? You gay. You gay. What's wrong with you? You ain't gonna talk to none of these women? What, you ain't got no game? Didn't you come here for that? Yeah, nah, not really. I just came here to listen to some live music, chill, kick it. they're going to say something's wrong with you for doing this. They're going to assume something's wrong. And therefore, you're going to find out that these weak men live their lives through women. They cannot go their entire day or week trying to get involved with some woman, even if they're married. Even if they're married, they have to have a conversation. Most men, they pick jobs because of a woman, or they can get a woman, or they pick the college or university they go to. They're looking at the academics, what they can major in, and they're looking at what type of women are there. This is the truth. And until you beat that, like Napoleon Hill said in Outwitting the Devil, until you beat that is when you can truly realize the life of abundance, of leverage, and in options. Okay? And this is difficult for people to do, especially men that are social. It is hard to do that because it's a stigma or a stereotype that you have to be, especially if you're a black man. If you're a black man, you're not running game. You ain't talking to these hoes. You ain't pulling them. And then you'll look out there and be like, I don't see nothing out there. What? You don't see all that thick? She got ass though. You don't run game. You don't walk up to women and talk to them in great conversations. You're not having a good time. Not really. That's not what I'm here for. They're going to say something's wrong with you. But in fact, you're doing exactly what they do, but you're doing it underneath. You're doing it quietly. You're not doing it loud. You're not playing the game. You're getting access to women because you have leverage and options. Okay? And when you do get your wins, you don't announce it to everybody. You don't go to the locker room and tell men to sniff your finger. You don't do that. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to show all your trophies off and tell everybody what you're doing left and right. You don't have time to bust out a camera and show everybody, look, these are my receipts. You don't have time for that. But other men will want to see this and engage in this type of behavior and say, they'll let you touch her right there, square in the punani. So typically introvert men, this is how they get around things. But of course, since you're not doing this and you're not doing it loudly or you're not busting a camera out at will, they will say that you're not doing it. So it is very difficult. It is very difficult for men to get around this and navigate this. Thus, you will find that they will look at 20 years of their life as wasted. You wasted opportunities. You actually took opportunities that you shouldn't have taken. You took jobs that you shouldn't have taken. You went to schools and universities that you shouldn't have gone to. And as a result, your life is laboring. And you're looking for a reason why. You might blame society, capitalism. You might blame Donald Trump. You might blame you might blame the economy, institutional racism, and thus you will find yourself very, very difficult to recover unless you acknowledge this fact. You have to acknowledge this fact that you live your life through women. Men who get divorced. Do you guys know statistically, men have a higher rate of committing self deletion because they got divorced and the after effects of the divorce? Men will self delete because they lost their wife. Some men will remarry a woman immediately after getting divorced to prove that it was not them that caused the divorce, it was the ex wife. And so you got to beat her down the aisle. You got to re engage in a relationship immediately after your divorce to show, hey, I can get a woman. I didn't fail. It wasn't me, it was her. So you'll immediately get remarried within 2 or 3 years after your divorce, end up getting divorced again. Hmm? This is because men live their lives through women. They cannot live single. They cannot live traveling by themselves. They cannot live. They're constantly believing that people judge them on the ability to get or keep a woman. So they'll immediately get remarried or they'll self delete because of the stigma of them being a deadbeat daddy. You see what I mean? Am I giving you real hardcore, true life examples of this. And I didn't even have to think very hard about this. This is how men do. Some men get to a job, and the first thing they do, one of the first things they do after they get their human resources paperwork, is see how many attractive women are there so they can possibly bang some of these attractive women. End up getting fired over this woman. End up getting fired over this woman. All right. When everybody knows you don't shit where you eat. And every now and then you'll get a guy say, well, I bang women at my job all the time and I've never gotten fired. You see what I mean? And so they'll encourage you to do it. Nah, don't worry about all that. They'll encourage you to do it, thus putting your career and all of everything you work for, right, all over a woman. And many kingdoms have been brought down like this. Many men that have been running for political offices have been brought down on this thing. Now, here's my question. Why couldn't he just go pay for some? Why did he have to bang the maid? Why did he have to bang that woman? Why did he have to sleep with the woman he worked with? Why did he have to bang the intern? Why did he have to do that? It's the thrill of the chase. Why did he have to do that? Why couldn't he just separate the business from the pleasure? Why couldn't he just go to the strip club and put his thumb up a girl's butt and pay her for it? Instead, he banged the intern. Why did he do that? And he got fired. He's in the human resource review. Let me give you a quick story. By the way, you're listening to the King of Kings here. You're listening to the King of Kings. If you're just introduced to me, first of all, this channel is the legendary flagship mothership channel of the Coach Greg Adams channel. I know you know the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. Do me a favor, subscribe if this is the first time you've heard me. Let me give you a story. Quick story. We have a guy that I know. He's a head of a Fortune 500 company. Let's just say that. And he was he was the president of this company. He was the president of this company. Now, because he was a client, I can't say any more than that. We don't tell. Well, he tells me a story that he's in a lawsuit. Now, he's not involving him. He's the president, so he has to be in court. He's being sued by a woman. The woman that sued him is suing the company for sexual harassment. Okay? Jesus is the King of Kings. No, I'm the King of Kings. I'm the King of Kings. Jesus ain't here. God's on way on business. Please understand that. Never challenge me on that. I am the King of Kings. Jesus was supposed to come back 11 times and he ain't came back. Until then, I preside. Now back to my story. Adams 3:16 said, CGA is the King of Kings. He said, you lost me, gang. Get the fuck out. Who cares? I mean, I'm not here for numbers. I don't care if you like me. I'm too old for that. All right. I lost you. You were lost anyway. You lost me. You were lost anyway. Read your Bible. When you realize you're watching me, that means what I say goes. Fuck you and the rest of your programming. Now, back to the regularly scheduled program. The man I knew was involved in a lawsuit, president of a company. He was being sued by a woman, or his company's being sued by a woman for sexual harassment. Here's the kicker. The man that was involved in the sexual harassment, the accused in this case, was a supervisor that had began a relationship with a woman that was his subordinate. This man, this man who was the supervisor, manager, was caught texting his subordinate in a human resources meeting for sexual harassment. Yes, you heard that right. This man in a sexual harassment meeting with human resources was texting his subordinate, sexting her during the meeting. Now, that gotta be one of the most egregious L's that I've heard of in a long time. Because why in the world? And yes, this man was married. The man who's texting the young lady was married. Again, another L. You're married. You work in the company. This woman that you're texting, you can find this one anywhere. She can't be that attractive. In fact, if you look at the women that you think are attractive in your workplace, there are five outside world. There are five. There are five in the outside world. It's like Danica Patrick. She's attractive for a race car driver, but she's not attractive as a woman. She's cute. That's like Angel Reese. She's attractive for a WNBA basketball player, but you put her up against other women and she ain't that attractive. You put her up against regular hot women, nines and tens. Angel Reese ain't all that, but she's attractive for a WNBA player. This is the same as women in your workplace. Oh, she fine. Put her outside against regular women. She regular. It's just proximity that makes you think that you have a chance and she's fine. Okay. Now, getting back to it. Getting back to it. This man's in a sexual harassment meeting. Hey, no, chill out. Chill, 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 chill. He's in a sexual harassment meeting, sexting a woman in the workplace, which is a big no-no. You got to take that L. But it comes out that the woman was in a relationship with another man, not in the workplace. She was in a relationship with another man. It was that man that encouraged her to sue the company. Because he found out. She was a willing participant and a volunteer, but it didn't become public until the boyfriend found out that she was sexting another man. And when he found out she was sexting another man, he found out who the man was, and instead of breaking up with her, he encouraged her to sue the company. Now, from that position, I don't know what happened after that, but she got paid six figures. She got paid six figures. Now, I don't know if he got a cut of that money or what. All right. But she was able to smartly play the victim and go in and sue that company because she wanted to keep the relationship with the boyfriend on par. Then she played the victim as if she was sexually harassed when she was a full participant in the engagement of the relationship between the boss and her, the subordinate. Now, in that case, wow, both of these men living their lives through women and it costs six figures, aka all men pay. So the boyfriend's emotional. The woman's cheating on him with the boss over here. The boyfriend says, in order for you to keep this relationship, you got to sue. She got to say she's a victim, Emmett Till style. I didn't really want this type of attention. He led me on. He gave me false belief and hope, and then sue six figures to the woman. And more than likely, she broke up with that goofball after that and bought a Range Rover. Okay. So when I look at this and I say, how are these men involving their lives with all these things that they can accomplish centered around one woman? And money exchanges hands. So all men pay, even though neither one of these guys was touching that punani ever again, more than likely. Money exchanges hands. So there's so many layers to this idea. It's not that women are bad. It's that we men can't seem to position their lives in a way where they can separate business and pleasure. They can separate their lives from women. they can re-engage women in their lives and then go about their lives and continue to win. So it's tough. It's a tough scenario all around. And this is our biological imperative. This is our urge. Sometimes it's our greed. Sometimes it's our need to prove to other men how good we are with women. We have to prove, hey, look, I'm marriage material and I got a woman to marry me. She loved me so much. She likes me for me. She actually likes me. We hear this with the ego. If you don't pay for a woman directly, that means she likes you if she sleeps with you and she wants to give me genuine burning desire. Men can't go without that. They have to prove to other men. There's a lot of people on the internet that have to prove to other men that they get women naturally. This is them living their lives through women. Hmm. This is men living their lives through women to prove to other men that they're good with women. Am I right? It's a weird world. It's a weird world. Your homeboy cannot stop talking about all his conquests with women, and then you'll look at the woman and she fat. And you're like, what are you doing? There are men that will get multiple women pregnant and say, I got 5 baby mamas, as if we're supposed to be impressed. But men will go about their way on the internet. And one piece of proof that they're used, because I use the free agent lifestyle and say, hey, I can separate and compartmentalize women over here. I compartmentalize women over here, and I have a life over here. But you have men that will go out of their way to say how good they are with getting women, proving it to other men, proving it to other men. This is a way to get viewership. It's a way to say you're crafty, you're Casanova. Men will use women as arm candy to take to an event just to prove to other men, look at me, look at what I have. And this is just a natural thing. There's nothing wrong with it. But people do this. And you have to ask why. Why can't you compartmentalize? Well, there's a theory that says that if she doesn't genuinely like you, she's using you. And no man wants to be used. But is she really using you is the question. Or are you using her? Right? She doesn't like you. She's just going for the free dinner. She doesn't like you. She's just going for the free concert. She really doesn't like you. She's just sleeping with you for money. This is where men have a problem. They draw the line. Hey, this is tricking. You're getting played. You're getting finesse. You're getting used. If it's not genuine, burning desire. Thus, men can't compartmentalize and they find themselves sleeping with women that they work with, sleeping in women that they employ, sleeping with women in close proximity, sleeping with their neighbors. Yes, they'll sleep with their neighbors. They'll covet their neighbor's wife. You will find that men sleep with their other men's wives in their own neighborhood, and some guy comes over there and kills him. This happens. It happens, and it's somewhat of a misnomer. Like, why couldn't you go clear across town? Why couldn't you get a girl over there? You had to go get your neighbor's wife. Like, why would you do that? Well, we fell in love and it was emotional, and one thing led to another. She came to clean my house, and you already know what's going to happen here. This is why men tend to be insecure about men that have relationships with their girlfriend and wives, because we know there are men that have nefarious motives when dealing with someone in close proximity. So your friend, your wife, your girlfriend says, "Oh, I'm just helping him organize his office," and she gets her back blown out. Eventually, she'll fall in. There'll be some fireworks, and all of a sudden, I didn't mean to. And then all of a sudden, people's lives fall apart. When a man's lives fall apart, it's typically around a woman. I'll give you names: Bill Clinton, Mike Tyson, Dominique Strauss-Kahn, Epstein, Weinstein. All right. There's many, many men, politicians, all right, unfortunately, that have lost their way in order to pursue the almighty power of the Punani. hmm When there could be another way. You don't have to do it this way, but we're kind of groomed and trained to do it this way to impress, unfortunately, other men. Shannon Sharp, yep, Hulk Hogan. There's too many examples of this. Shaquille O'Neal. There's a lot of people out here trying to figure out their way around this, and they have to learn that hard lesson. All right, I could have paid 250 to the stripper. I could have went to the VIP room. I could have got a sugar baby. I could have hired an escort. All right, you could have been able to get these jollies off, but unfortunately, we look at it as a negative. All right, we don't want to do that. All right, you got to get her to really like you. They'll find something wrong with it, but you don't have to do either way. But you could have. I'm just saying you could have. You fucking with the intern. All right, you get like President Bill Clinton got slipping my mind, all right? But you literally put your reputation on the line. Gary Hart. A lot of people have literally lost their ability to run for president for this particular reason. And it's a sad thing. Impeached, yeah. President Bill Clinton got impeached, all right? But impeachment doesn't mean removed. He got impeached for sticking a cigar up a woman's punani. You have to think. We don't blame women for this. Can't blame a woman for this because these men are all too powerful and all too smart to be able to blame the woman. Okay, we can't blame the women in our lives that have caused us to make these negative, terrible decisions, like getting fired at work or getting a bad reputation. Yeah, Matt Lauer. There are men that were in fitness training. All right, fitness trainers. Fitness trainers typically have a reputation of being flirtatious, maybe getting a little bit too personal and close with their clients. I worked in that industry for about 10 years, and it is somewhat true. It's not always the case. People can remain professional, but people will think, hey, I can become a fitness trainer or a massage therapist, and therefore I can get close to my clientele, and then I'll be able to get pussy right for my job. Yes, they'll do that. Hey, I want to be a personal trainer. I get to stretch out women and get close to them and touch their legs and their arms and maybe scrape their breast. And these things will happen. I get to get my jollies off and maybe I'll fuck some of my clients. And guess what? Why would you do that? Because you're going to mess up your bag or you're going to get a bad reputation. Thus, husbands won't send their girlfriend or wives or girlfriends to train with you. Yes, it happens. I've known men that have been in these professions that have a reputation in which the husband says, I'm going to train with this trainer. And the husband says, no, you're not going to train with that trainer. They have a reputation. Men choose careers based on their access to punani. Men have explored being gynecologists to be around stanky punani. Now, you'll probably turn gay being a gynecologist, being around pussy that much. You're probably not going to be in the pussy. All right. Or you'll end up impregnating all of your clients. All right. That has happened too. But men have pursued jobs in the medical field to get close to women. This is an idea where you're saying men live their lives through women. I'm gonna be a gynecologist. See, being a gynecologist is a bad idea to get around pussy. You're gonna see pussy in a state that you don't want to see it in. You're gonna see it leaking, boiling. You're gonna see it bleeding. You're gonna see it with herpes and warts. You're gonna see it stanking. All right. Women that do waxing, Brazilian waxes, they get around close and intimately to the midsections and innards of a woman, and thus they will tell you there's some nasty women out here, bruh. hmm Ask any woman that's involved in waxing that do Brazilian waxes. Anybody ever get waxed? I get my upper body waxed because, I look good in pictures when I'm traveling. There's a sign in the wax room that says, if you have discharge, do not come to the wax appointment. Yes. And I asked the woman, that's a waxer, a young lady. I said, do women really come in here with discharged vaginas? And she says, yes, all the time. They'll come in to get their Brazilian wax and have green discharge coming out of their punanis. Now, again, men will think for a second if they want to go in the medical field, maybe I'll be a gynecologist. This is what you're probably going to deal with. Women that have discharges and ooze and green sticky stuff that comes out of their midsection. And you thought of getting in that career. You done went to 4 years of medical school. You done went to do residency, and now you're trapped in a career doing discharge vagina. And now all of a sudden you sashaying and chanting. As a matter of fact, my first, my then wife's first gynecologist was a gay male. All right, he's a gay male, and I actually asked him that too, and he was like, "Yeah, man, if you're a male gynecologist, you're gonna turn gay or a predator." All right, it's hard to stay professional because you're dealing with a nasty area. This area is very nasty. By the way, there's dogs and coyotes everywhere. We got coyotes here. Now you got to pursue this career looking at discharged vaginas. Yes, it's a very nasty thing, but you have to think men do question these things. They do think about these things as career things, you know? Let me give you another example. Do you know that I once explored being a massage therapist? This was in my 20s. And the reason why I did it is because I was already a certified fitness trainer. And I thought maybe this would work as a tandem. You know, you're pairing up degrees and all kind of stuff. Maybe I'll look at being a massage therapist. One of the questions they ask you in massage therapy school right at the beginning before you pay for it is, are you willing to massage men? Now, they only ask mostly the men, but they're going to ask this question. Do you know that most men say no and drop out of the program? Do you know that most men say no and then drop out of the program? That's what I was told. I was told that because their whole intention was to only massage women, and they will red flag you if you say, I will only massage women. You're getting a red flag. They're going to watch out for you. They're going to uncover your motive that you're using this to get close to women. You're a red flag at that point because they're like, why are you cutting off a revenue stream? Why are you here to learn? Aren't we learning how to be good therapists and massage therapists? No. You're going to immediately say, hell no, I won't touch any men. Well, that's an example of men living their life through women. You only are going to massage women. They're probably going to kick you out of the program. Okay. They're probably going to go, this guy, we know what he's here for. You see what I mean? This is an example. So most men drop out. Nah, I ain't trying to. Because the first thing they're going to do, you're in massage school, first person they're going to put on the table is a hairy ass dude. And you're going to be like, I ain't touching him. And they're going to go, well. Well, guess you don't want to be here for the right reason. Okay. Yeah, that's like saying you want to be a doctor. No, I'll only treat women. Red flag. That's an example of men living their life through women. Okay, and it cannot be understated. So what happens? What's the end result? What is the end result? Until you conquer this, and it might take you until your 40s, until you beat this beast, you cannot truly be 100% complete the man you need to be. You cannot truly become the man that you need to be. You will find that men that are successful, that are able to deal with this, become very successful when they put women in their proper perspective, right? Where they're not the number one goal, where they're not leaving lunch or work early to meet a woman for a date. All right. As they say, okay, as they say, there's a phrase for this. Okay, there's a phrase for this. But most men can't conquer this. They'll be 40, 50, and 60-year-olds still trying to prove to the world or to other men or to other women that they can be great with women, when in fact they can't be great in other areas of their lives. Okay, they can't be great in other areas of their lives. Even when they're great in one area of their lives, look at the kicker from the Baltimore Ravens, the quarterback from the Cleveland Browns. These are alleged incidences where these men possibly did not have to be flirting with massage therapists and asking them to touch their peen. But they gave up their whole career, great careers, careers headed to greatness, to act weird around allegedly massage therapists, allegedly. And it's a weird thing. You go, how did you get to that point when you could have paid a woman, right? You could have paid any woman. You had enough money to pay whatever woman. Well, in our world, it's seen as a negative. So I'm gonna pay around the woman. I'm gonna pay a massage therapist to massage me and then ask for a happy ending and get it, only to get a charge later on. But if I paid her directly, no, that doesn't count. It's like hunting. It's like having people prepare your steak instead of hunting the steak in the wild. We live around these things, and of course, you can't get around it. The men are able to get around it. They're able to raise their level of performance in the world by compartmentalizing the woman. There's value that they provide. I can compartmentalize it. Let me ask you this. Let me give you another one. And we're being honest here. How many, when did I realize I was going to hell? When I realized I needed to save you a seat. That's when I realized I was going to hell. When I realized I needed to save you a seat. Because you going there with me. You going there with me in a handbasket. That's when I realized I was going. When I saw you going, nigga. And I might beat you there, but I'll save your ass a monkey ass seat. Now, let's get back to the show and be distracted by these Mitches. Now, shout out to the new people here discovering the realest of the real, the true king of kings. How many of you guys have been in a situation where you were working, you had a goal, but you had a girlfriend and you broke up with her? Okay? You broke up with her. And during that breakup, it caused you to fail a test, you lost your way, you climbed down, you fell down a ladder, you got fired from your job, you got written up at your job because your performance was starting to labor. You were in the middle of a divorce, and the boss called you in and say, hey, what's going on in your life? And you said, well, I'm going through a divorce. You ruined your credit, you got bankruptcy. How many of us have been there? Press one in the chat if you've been there. Press one in the chat if you've been there. Now, if you haven't been there, you're lying. We've all been there. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a natural thing. But why does this one breakup cause you to fail your test? You ruined you bombed the SAT. You bombed your final exam. You bombed your certification exam. And so forth and so on. This is an example of men that live their lives through women so much that the breakup caused you to fail and falter. Or or the idea that while you were focusing on what you were doing, you're in the military, you're overseas, but you're so worried about your wife getting fucked in the barracks that you can't focus on aiming and hitting your enemy. You think your wife is out cheating on you, or your girlfriend is going on dates while you're out focusing on your exam. How many of us have been there? Hmm. This happens all because we live our lives through women. This is a true weakness of men, and they fight this urge so bad that they refuse to admit it. Not only that, they fight me for bringing this example up. Okay? They're fighting me in the comment section, the new people here that have somehow made it to this stream. Welcome. You ain't gonna find no real information in this. You see, they're fighting me. You see this? They're fighting me. They're fighting me. They're fighting it. And I love it. I love it. They're in denial. They can't do any better. So they're in denial. And they have nothing else better to do than to watch a great man perform and break this down like a fraction. So what happens is, because this is a truth, men can't, with their ego, check themselves. They have to be a little bit better, right? They have to act like they're the exception to this rule and stuff like this. Well, it's true. So you have to then find a way outside of that. When you find that way, the first people you're going to have to battle is the weak men who drag you back to this. Because it's the men that are going to drag you back. This is called the plantation. They're going to drag you right back and to organize your life into failure like their lives. When in fact, they can look back at their lives and have nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. Most men have nothing to show for their lives, and they live to 20, 30, and 40 years. Absolutely nothing. Except old war stories of old pussy they conquered. Right? I'm going to say this. Most men don't have anything to show for their lives except for old pussy they conquered and paid for. Ex-wives, old girlfriends. You ask them to pull up their S&P 500, their cryptocurrency, their investments. What do they own? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this is how they fight me. This is how they fight their lives, their miserable existence as a man. This is why the manosphere has become a rest haven for whole ass men. They have nothing to show for their lives but old war stories. Let me give you an example of this. There are men that say there were players back in the 90s. I was a player back in the 90s. I used to get hoes. I was Granddaddy Caddy. I was Macaroni Tony. But they're broke. But they don't got no teeth left. They'll say they were a pimp and how they used to pimp hoes, but got no dental plan. They'll tell you and show you old Polaroid pictures of baddies that look like Nia Long or Aaliyah, meanwhile got a fat wife at this particular point. They still wearing Steve Harvey suits, polyester suits. They haven't upgraded their wardrobe. They're 50 to 100 pounds heavier than they were. They don't have no teeth. They don't have anything up to date to show for it. They drive Chevrolet Caprices that their grandmother left for them when she died. They don't have any property. And most of the women, if you pull them up right now, they will be booger wolves and slump busters. Today, Q-Tip proved this. Shout out to the rapper Q-Tip. He had a high school honey that he wanted to find that he had back in the 90s. This was the love of my life. He went and found her to this day, and she looked like a stray strag. Because she was bad as a 15-year-old cheerleader when he was 15, but at 45, she was tore up from the floor up. She was beat up from the feet up. And all they got is old war stories. You will find that men that are Generation X, Boomers got old war stories. Steve Harvey still got old war stories of women that he used to get back in the day. Meanwhile, simping today. Simping to this day. All right, with a woman that is the ex-wife of a former drug dealer that was pardoned by Barack Obama, and his daughter, stepdaughter, running around here for sale, rent, and lease. Yeah. And he's now trying to govern the relationships of his stepdaughter because she took his last name as if it's his real daughter. But he's got old Ohio player war stories. You see what I mean? Men cannot go about life without showing and demonstrating that their value is hung up and their life has been lived on a woman. It's hard. It's hard. But only a few people can navigate this and get over it. Only a few. And the minute you fight this, is going to take you years to fight this because the weak men, are going to try to pull you back into this and somehow cast judgment against you again. Then you ask them, what do you have to show for it? Nothing. You don't have keys to cars. You don't have keys to property. You don't have deeds to land. You don't have a retirement. You've never bought a new car. Well, new cars are a waste. You're going to tell me that. You've never had a threesome, right? You never had a woman under 185 pounds. You've never had a woman under 185 pounds. You've lost more than you actually possess to this point. You've lost more than you actually possess to this point. You can look back at the losses. You lost relationships with your kids, houses, cars, real estate, lawsuits. All right. You didn't wasted time. You didn't had child support, 250 grand of child support. You didn't lost way more than you have accumulated or possess at this particular point. And guess what? You still got war stories. You still out here trying to prove to these men that your value lies in how successful you are with women when you've been nothing but the opposite. Now, it only matters what you have today. In my garage, everything's new. I have new tools. I have new cars, new motorcycles. Everything I bought is new. New ATVs, new watches, no pre owned, new computers. I buy everything new. And I'm 50 years old. And I got war stories, but none of them are important to me at this particular point, other than those things. Those things are way more important to me. And I'm hurting a lot of feelings. I love it. I love it that I'm hurting your feelings. But consider the fact that you're watching me is really an indictment on you and not me. You're watching me. That's an indictment on you in your life, not me. Because you could be watching something different. You could be watching the end of the football game, but you don't have a life. You certainly don't have a car. You certainly don't have a way of life. You don't have a philosophy. You've never written a book. You've never traveled to more than 2 countries. You've never left your state. And I love that we have a lot of weak men and incels and Mitches in this comment section. I'm loving it. And I love it because this is why men are in the state they're in today. They're in the state. And if again you don't know who I am, I feel sorry for you, but I'm not that hard to figure out. All right. I have multiple channels here and multiple books written, and I've been on TV shows, and I've been presenting keynote speaker. You could spend an entire week researching me. I've been known since I've been probably 18 years old. I've been in newspapers for not committing crimes, for accomplishing things. I have degrees. I have children. I've been married. You, on the other hand, you guys don't own more than 3 sweat socks. You, on the other hand, don't have a mattress bigger than a twin mattress. You, on the other hand, don't have nothing registered in your name of ownership. You, on the other hand, have not accomplished anything but fucking fat women. You, on the other hand, as a horrible male representing today's world, don't even have medical insurance. You don't even have a toolbox. Let's talk about that. These men get up on the internet all day long and don't even have a toolbox. Wondering how they're going to get punani. You don't even have a toolbox, sir. What type of man are you? You don't even have a toolbox in your house. You don't even have more than 2 tools. You don't even can combine multiple screwdrivers in your house. But we're supposed to listen to you. We're supposed to listen to these poor excuses of men today in our world today. We're supposed to listen to the emotional, mental health world of Generation Z and the millennials today. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. The state of manhood is at an all-time low. The state of manhood is at an all-time low. Men are catastrophic at this point. Men don't deserve anything out of this life at this particular point. Men don't have firearms. You don't even have extra ammunition. You don't even have extra magazines for your firearms. I mean, why are men, why are men so pathetic today? Why are men so pathetic today? Look at the state of these men. Look at these people here. These men got lint in their belly button. None of these guys got a 4 or a 6 pack. None of these guys got muscle on their body. None of these men can grow a beard that could connect. Most of these men don't have a 9-volt battery to fix their smoke detector right now. As a matter of fact, check this out. Go to your room right now. Your room, because you don't have a house. Go to your room and give me a 9-volt battery. I bet you don't have a 9-volt battery in your whole domicile. The state of men are at an all-time low. And look at these men crawl out the back of the room like the cowards they are, because today's men are nothing but women. They're cowards. They're keyboard warrior and internet gangsters. Me, on the other hand, I am proven with 100% receipts. You could take that shit to the bank. You're looking at the man your father should have been. You're looking at the man that your father should have been, that he couldn't be because he was too wrapped up fucking with your fat mama. Yes, your mama's fat. And if your mama's fat, you need to shut your mouth right now, because the likelihood of your mama being fat is about a 99% chance. 99% chance your mama is obese. 99% chance. And there's a 98% chance that you're obese. There's a 99% chance that you're obese. 98% chance. Because look at these pathetic ass men out here. Can't do 15 pull-ups. Can't do 38 push-ups consecutively. This is where men are today. You thought this was a manosphere red pill channel. Oh, no, it's not. You men are coward and pathetic out here, and all you can govern your life by is pussy that you ain't getting. You ain't even getting any. Look at these men crawling out the back of the room like cowards. Today's men are nothing but cowards. Ungrateful men that don't even invest in themselves or their wardrobe or their skill. You bitch ass ninjas running around here trying to figure out how to get a job without scooping ice cream at Baskin and Robbins all day. Have the nerve to run around here and see a real man presiding in front of them and then cast judgment on me. This is the world you live in, the unsuccessful men of America. The unsuccessful men of America, the Mitch men of America, and it has been propped up by the male space. It is the male space that is giving you the idea that you're the prize, when how the hell you the prize and you don't have a toolbox? How the hell are you men are the prize? You have to ask yourself, we're naturally the prize, but you guys are a poor excuse of a prize. You guys are a dollar store prize at this particular point, you big fat human beings, you obese males. The obese males of America. The obese males of America. You guys are pathetic excuses of men. Men are rolling over in their graves at the state of men today. The previous men are rolling over in their graves at the state of men today. And it is because you've been propped up by a group of men that claim they're going their own way, they're red pill, and you've been propped up by coward men. Yes, you have been. You've been propped up and you've been championing coward ass men. Most of you guys are drug addicts and beer guzzlers. Most of you guys can't go 2 days without jumping on some weed. You guys think that men before you who were put into war and had to demonstrate valor represents the state of men today, when you guys are pink panty wearing ass men. Pink panty wearing ass men. You guys wear the panties in our society today. You guys wear the panties in our society today. These women are more men than you on a regular basis. And why else? I mean, listen, I've talked about women on this channel for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. The reality is, at this particular point, you got to look at the men's lack of accountability. You got to look at the men's natural propensity to be out of shape blobs and graphic t-shirt wearing goofies. What's my resume? Look me up, baby. All you got to do is Google me. You could Google me and you'll spend a week. All right. And if you actually read a book, you'll spend a month. You'll spend a month trying to figure out who I am. If you haven't learned, you better learn real quick. All right. My motherfucking resume is stamped. I'm certified gold. I'm the king of kings in this motherfucker. I ain't got to prove a goddamn thing. You got to prove it, man. And I'm Googleable. I'm Googleable, nigga. Right? You can spend all day on Google with me. I'm on page 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, Google your motherfucking name. Google your name, nigga. Google your name. And if your ass don't come up on a criminal record, I'll be surprised. Now, Google your name. You are invisible to the world. You ain't even known to the world. The world don't know you. He said, ignore the Mitches. No, this is a Mitch slapping, sir. We're here for the Mitches. I'm only doing this for the Mitches. Your name is not even Googleable. You're unrecognizable in public. Nobody knows who you are. You've made no impact on the world, positive or negative. All that comes up is the possibly you're a shift manager at Jiffy Lube. That's all that possibly might come up. You were employee of the week at Jiffy Lube. Maybe that might be your biggest accomplishment. But you're the prize. You were the assistant manager at Baskin and Robbins. You bagged the most groceries at Albertsons. Google your name, nigga. Then Google mine. Enough said. I don't got to tell you who I am. I'm known internationally. Everywhere I go, I'm recognized by at least one person. no matter where I'm at. I've been to 20 plus countries. I've been recognized in 20 plus countries at least once. I've been referenced. Look me up on, type Urban Dictionary and my name. Just on YouTube shit, I pop up. It's not a competition. Yes, it is. This is what's problem with men. It is a competition. This is a competition. Life is a competition. This is what's wrong with you new modern age male females. Life is a competition. That's exactly what it is. It's survival of the fittest. That's exactly what it is. It's power. It's exactly what it is. It's big bank, take little bank. That's exactly what it is. It's a competition, you goofball. That's why you a Mitch. This is survival of the fittest. This is advancing your genetics to the next round. This is survive and advance. That's exactly what it is, Mitches. And until you learn that, we can't correct the women till these Mitches get correct. Life is a competition. It's about who can get to the top of the mountain, who can buy a house on the top of the hill. That's who wins life. You don't win at the bottom. You don't win at the bottom. You win racing to the top. And every day you wake up, you win or you fucking lose. Life is a competition. And your fat mama told you opposite. Your fat mama told you were important with your recessed chin. Life might look short, but it's long when you a loser ass nigga. Life looks short, but it's long when you're a loser. Life looks short, but it's long when you a loser. It's hard to live when you a loser ass nigga at 40, 50, and 60. Oh, it's long, bruh. Because nobody give a fuck about you when you ain't got no power and you ain't won shit in your 50s and 60s and 40s. Trust me. Life is a competition. We are racing to be the best at all times. I'm looking to beat and defeat the weakest fucking men on the planet, and it ain't that hard. All I gotta do is wake up earlier than you weak motherfuckers. Every day, all day. It is a competition. And when I see weak motherfuckers, I squash these motherfuckers. I spray raid on them like cockroaches and I celebrate and tap dance on them just like you would if I was a loser. But I ain't gonna ever be that. So you ain't gonna ever get the chance. But that's a fact. The weak men of America think this is not a competition. Oh, yes, the fuck it is. Oh, yes, the fuck it is. We looking to see who the winners are. The winners win. The women wait at the finish line for the winners. And that's why your dick is dry. So anybody that told you that life ain't a competition, they lied to your Mitch ass. Life is a competition. We're looking for the winners. We're looking to separate the men from the boys. If you ain't competing as a man, you're a woman. If you're not competing as a man, you're a woman. If you're not competing as a man, you're a woman. Only losers believe men ain't competing against each other. Hey, by the way, we ain't all in this together, nigga. I'm looking to beat you on a daily basis, and I'm winning. I'm looking to beat the next man every single day. I ain't trying to get the next man up to my level. I'm trying to beat your ass every day. Pause. So if you ain't winning, that's when you think it ain't a competition. That's a loser mindset. Losers think this ain't a competition because you ain't collecting nothing, because you ain't never won nothing, nigga. When you experience winning, did you realize this is a competition? Mitch ass niggas. Mitch ass men of society, the weak beta males of society, the weak manosphere Mitches. All right, you guys are why you're gonna be a loser your whole goddamn life, and I'm here for it. All day you lose every day talking about this ain't a competition. This is crazy, bruh. This is crazy, bruh. Yo, anyway, enough of this. I'm gonna get enjoy my life. I have on my way here since it's 9 o'clock. Is it 9 o'clock? It's 9 o'clock. I'm scheduled to have a nice 21-year-old woman that I'm gonna put my thumb up her butt. You enjoy the